So Cardi B, this be drugging people.
Yeah.
And robbing them. If a man did, and men do that.
And some questionably sexual content in there as well, too.
So the quote that I read about her, in her own words, basically justifying this behavior was like bananas to me. Bananas.
That I think that's the part that I'm going to say something, and I am not equivocating, and I am not making it okay.
I am so scared.
R. Kelly goes on an interview and proceeds to stand there and go, I'm fighting for my life. Also, strong choice to choose the freak out approach. Real good, dude. Like, anyway. Let's go with the indignant and screaming and standing over a woman and yelling at her approach after everything else. But instead of going to that, she basically is like, yep, I did it.
I mean,
and I'm like, oh.
And then also was kind of like, and you'd do it too if you were in my position. Like, what'd you expect me to do? That was kind of like the overall I was in a dire situation and I hate that I had to do this, but this is,
Sure.
Like she was like walking with her baby on her hip through the desert and it was like, it's just what we had to do.
This is life.
Like, happens. You grew up in New York City. And like, what are you talking about?
Just what we do.
Like, you can't drug people and rob them. You can't do that. It's just not something you can do.
It's not okay.
None of this is okay. And when men do it, I mean, the level of outrage, and rightfully so, but the fact that...
Bill Cosby's legacy, gone.
But that's what should happen.
Deservedly so, but
But
gone.
now we have a woman in the limelight. And by the way, good for her for admitting it. I'd like to just also say, not that it's not good, but people have an issue being accountable.
Sure.
For the up they do. I at least appreciate that she was like, yeah, no, that was me. I did it, and I'd do it again. Like, I mean, she kind of doubled down on it to me.
I suppose there's yes, I agree.
So thank you.
There's an element of respect.
I respect that you were like, I was 100% a bad person, but I don't feel bad because of my circumstance, and yeah, I did it. Yeah. And look at me now. You too can be Cardi B. No. But like, people are definitely mad about it. And guys are definitely like, oh, here we, someone else. And I don't think she's an isolated situation. I think women in the music industry or just kind of like in general, like tend to be the victims, like just by nature of size and circumstance. It tends to happen more often, but this is not like a one-way thing. Like the fact that there is not more outrage, the fact that there aren't endorsements being pulled out from under her left and right, the fact that people are like, we're not paying Cardi B anywhere. She did something that is so bad. And she didn't do it once. This was a lifestyle.
This was Tuesdays.
This was a full-time job. Like, this is what she did. And I'm not the biggest Cardi B fan, but I don't dislike her. I'm a little bit indifferent. I respect her hustle as a musician, as an artist. Her shtick is not really my thing. I would never pay money to see her somewhere. But if she was on the bill of a concert that I was seeing, I wouldn't necessarily like go to the bathroom. You know what I mean?
I understand.
But like, I get that it's just part of like what she does. And from what I understand is her route of getting to where she is, like, good for you, girl. Secure that bag, though. That's kind of how I feel. Sure. But the fact that like she's kind of outright just said I did these things, didn't deny it, and I don't think have been any repercussions, like really, for it. Like, what's up with that?
I mean, I think it's also maybe a little soon to tell.
Okay.
A little bit. I'm interested to. Before I completely condemn the lack of response, I guess, I'm waiting because back to our other earlier discussion in the topic of being a feminist, also men can be preyed upon too by women.
I agree.
There's a lot of people I think out there who this might be a chance to see, I guess,
we're gonna get y'all
to check the temperature a little bit of the water, because right now
y'all aren't
it's very
expecting
big.
it. Here we come.
Let's come for the Harvey Weinsteins. let's get the Cosbys. Let's get the R. Kellys. Let's get them all. But
even the Full House lady, Aunt Becky. Aunt Becky's going her ass to jail, which is like traumatizing for me. Besides, that's another topic entirely for another day. There's not enough tape for that. But her kid, the fake USC crew kid, whatever, had every major. Do you know she had endorsements like Neutrogena, like these huge companies? She had like 4 of them pulled immediately when the news broke. She didn't drug and kill anyone. She didn't rape. Oh, Cardi B didn't kill anyone, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
No one died. No one was drugged. No one was raped. Nothing happened. She was like kind of partially a victim in her circumstance, and every brand was like, we don't want any part of this.
Yeah.
Cardi B did it, admitted to it within like 24 hours of the news breaking, and nobody bats an eye.
Well, I mean, it took weeks for Sony to drop R. Kelly. Like, it took several weeks after that kind of all flared up a little bit. So, like I said, do
you think that's gonna happen? Because I don't.
I don't know. I think I agree with you. I think there's a high percentage chance that it's not going to.
I'm gonna bet like it blows over and just becomes a meme, and that's about it.
Oh, I guarantee you, there's a more than likely chance that it's probably it's gonna be just some hilarious memes with the the Will Smith at the the end of like the Fresh Prince show where he's standing like the empty living room, kind of like that sort of thing, and it's just gonna be like pictures of that, and then people underneath it being like, after Cardi B comes over, like it's like so. I mean, like it's just gonna be memeified for the most part, but
I think everyone's just gonna be like, oh, that's crazy, and move on.
No, I mean I think there's a good chance. But I you know me, I'm the eternal optimist. I like to have a little faith that in our current wokeness climate, there's going to be
wokeness.
We're going to hold people's feet to the fire equally on this one, but I don't know. Time will tell, I guess. Like at the time of this taping, I think it's a little. I'm not ready to fully break out the pitchforks and the torches and start freaking out, but
I think it's. I just think it's really bad. And not that she's the only one. I'm sure there's plenty of people that do that on both sides. And it's just, she's one of like the few people that happen to be in the limelight that are in that circumstance that it's like, well, you know, and everyone knows about it now. But I think
when
it's
you become
insane.
big, there's a target on your head. I mean, for things like this that, you know, might have stayed under, like,
right.
no one
but what is that example? Like, think about now if you're a young girl and you know about this and have like just, you know, whatever foundational understanding you have, you think now that you can grow up in that way and do those things and nothing happens. There is something so wrong with that. And I think if we're going to ruin lives and careers of the living and the dead over poor judgment and things that they have done, you know, even if it was one time, this was a habitual situation from what I understand.
Yeah.
We should never like hear her name uttered. If we're going to hold each other, she should be dragged through the mud, dropped from everything. Career suicide is what this should be. And I am more than willing to bet that none of that happens. But I would love to be wrong. I want to be wrong. I would like it to be equal, but I just think it has to be fair. If we are going to rightfully so do what we are doing to protect women, I think generally men don't feel the need to be like protected, and we as a society don't feel like that's a thing that happens often enough. But it has to be fair.
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly so. I don't like, it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, it doesn't matter. Like, right is right and wrong is wrong. And if we're not willing to do that, and the bigger brands and the corporations, everything are not willing to get behind that, then I think this is part of a bigger problem.
Yeah.
And it deserves this level of conversation.
It does. It does. Drugging people and stealing is wrong, whether you're a man, a woman, a doctor, a stripper.
Or a Sasquatch.
Or a Sasquatch.
We are all united. We're all united in this.
Sasquatches too.
Sasquatches too. Sasquatches need love too.
They do.
Don't you forget that.
No, never.
Don't you forget that.